Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to deal with a pinned piece. So let's get started. In this position, it is white to move, and if you notice right now, white's knight cannot move because the bishop is pinning the knight to the king. Oh no, what should you do? Okay, the first thing you need to do is you want to unpin the knight. And how do we do this? Well, first of all, notice the bishop, the knight, and king. They're all on the same diagonal. So to make the knight unpinned, you want to move the king over to B3 or C2. And then if you notice, if we move the king to C2 or B3, the knight is no longer pinned, and the king is protecting the knight, right? If we move the king over to A1, this is a huge mistake because first of all, the king, the knight, and the bishop, they're all still on the same diagonal. The king is not protecting the knight, and then the bishop can just take the knight. This is a complete disaster for white. So in this position, just move the king to C2 or B3. Moving the pawn to F4 is a big mistake because the knight, it's still pinned, and because of that, black's pawn can go to B4, and then notice that now the pawn is attacking the knight. Once this king moves, then goodbye knight, and black should win in this position. So you have to remember is if you have a pinned piece, it's a very good idea to just unpin the piece right away because you don't want your opponent to take advantage of your pinned piece. Let's go ahead and get to the next example, but before that, if you have not subscribed to my channel, I do invite you to subscribe to my channel. And if you do like watching my videos, I do invite you to give me a donation if you are comfortable doing that. Thanks in advance. Okay, here is position number 2. And I'm going to just give you some time to think about it. It is white to move. And is there a pinned piece? Pay attention to what pieces are on the same line as your king. Okay, notice this rook, this knight, and this king, they're all on the same line. And because of that, this knight cannot move. If this knight moves, then this rook would be checking the king. So what should we do in this position? Well, since this knight is pinned, we want to unpin it. And how do we do that? We're going to simply just move the king over to F2. We can also go king to F1, and we can also move king to H1. And if we go to any of these 3 squares, then this knight is no longer pinned. Okay? And if we decided to just move somewhere else, such as like maybe rook to D7, this is not too, I mean, yes, I know that the rook is attacking this pawn, but this pawn can go here, and then notice that the pawn is attacking this knight. We can't save this knight anymore. So this is not good for white right now. So so remember, if you have a pin piece, you want to unpin it. Move the king off the same line as the rook and the knight. If you move the king to G2, the rook is still pinning the knight to the king. I hope that you found this video or this position to be helpful. Let's move on to position number 3. Okay, this is position number 3. It is white to move. I will give you some time to think about where to move. Are there any pinned pieces? And yes, there is. So pay attention to what pieces are on the same line as this king. Okay. Notice that this knight, this pawn, this queen, this pawn, and this king, they're all on the same line, and therefore, this queen is pinning this pawn to the king. So what should white do? Okay, well, first of all, we want to unpin this pawn on g2. So a good move is to simply just move the king to h2 or h1, and this would be a good move. And then just remember, if we decide to move somewhere else, such as like look over to e1, then this bishop can simply just go to h3 and just take the pawn. And again, this is not too good because the pawn cannot capture the bishop because the queen is still pinning the pawn to the king. So that's why if your opponent is pinning one of your pieces, you want to unpin it as quickly as possible. That's the general rule. I hope that you enjoyed watching this video. Have you ever played a game, and have you ever had to unpin yourself? Pins are actually very, very common. I've done it many, many times where I had to unpin my pieces. Let me know what you thought about this video by commenting below, and if you like watching my videos, I do invite you to subscribe to my channel if you have not done already. Thank you so much for watching, and check out my chess club on chess.com.